Do you ever wonder how to stick to a budget? You know, you write it down and then life takes over. You see a good deal, your kid wants something, whatever the case may be. Do you find that it's hard to stick to your budget? Quite often, I find that people are looking for solutions outside themselves to stay on track. And if you follow my bank account budgeting system, that is one of the best tools that you could possibly put in place for yourself to keep you on track. But at the end of the day, you're an adult. You know, you can make your own decisions. There is no app or card or template or coach that is going to stop you from stealing from future you. Does that make sense? You know, when you commit to something, you just got to commit. And I had a conversation with a client yesterday, and how I described it is that they were being a whiny teenager. Yep, that's right. I called my client a whiny teenager. And here's what I mean by that. You know, imagine those conversations that you are going to have with your future teenagers. Maybe you already have teenagers, or maybe your teens have grown up and gone. But imagine the conversation with your teen. You know, you agree that they're going to be home at 10 o'clock, and then they come home at 11. And they tell you all the reasons on why staying out was a better idea. You know, they tell you that they were up to good things, and they tell you that it was hard to get a ride home, or there was traffic, or whatever the case may be. They justify why they came home an hour after you had already agreed that they were going to be back in the door. Imagine the conversation that you would have with them. You would talk about staying in communication. You would talk about that an agreement is an agreement. Your word is your bond. You would talk about the repercussions, you know, that you stayed up waiting, scared for their safety. You would have that type of conversation with them. Okay, now shift context. You say you're going to spend $100 on shopping this week. You say you're going to spend $500 on Christmas this year, and then you spend more. You broke a bond. You broke that agreement with yourself. Why would the conversation be any different? There are repercussions like not being able to go on vacation because you can afford anything, but you can't afford everything. So when it comes to writing a budget and staying on track, you need to make that agreement with yourself. Don't be the whiny teenager that always wants one more thing, always wants a little more time, always wants what they want, and they can justify why they're smarter than everybody else, including you, mom and dad. Don't be that whiny teenager. Don't justify it with yourself. Make a commitment and stick to it. Create a new plan. Sit down and work out a new plan if your current agreement is no longer working. Ignoring your agreement, overspending is not an option. It just steals from future you. Because again, you can afford anything, but you can't afford everything. So how do you stick to a budget? You take my budget makeover, first of all, which I will link in this video. You make sure you have a budget in place. You create bank account architecture so you can implement my bank account budgeting system. These are all things that I teach you for free, or you can come and take the Pretty Money course with me in the new year and learn with me hands-on on how to implement this system and get the results of my Pretty Money Club members. So my message for today, don't be a whiny teenager.